5 youth pastor time-saving hacks. Hack number 1, use your cell phone. I mean, for crying out loud, this is the Hybrid Ministry Show. I am your host, Nick Clayson, and you should use your cell phone to your advantage. And so, a couple of different apps I use on my cell phone to save time. My calendaring app, I use it for everything. It is my to-do list. However, and we'll get to this in just a minute, I do build out the individual items on my to-do list using a to-do list app. I use Microsoft To Do. I hate everything Microsoft. I hate the Clippers owner, Steve Ballmer, but I do use Microsoft To Do because it used to be Wunderlist. It got converted into To Do, and my wife and I, we still use it for our groceries. And so I just continue to use it, but use calendaring apps and or to-do list. Have social media things installed on your phone, but don't let it own you. Right? Use Instagram stories and use the Instagram Reels and use TikTok and CapCut. Use them for social media posts when you need it and how you need it. But don't let those things own you. Turn off notifications for them. And then use AI on your phone or on your browser to save time. OpenAI.com, ChatGPT, another free image site and resource that I have been using is Imagine.art. I paid like $13 a month today in an annualized version for like $156 for a year's worth of credits. But use some of these things to your advantage. I will give you this caveat, as I have been alluding to a little bit. Have some cell phone integrity. So use your cell phone, use calendaring apps, use to-do lists, use social media apps and AI websites and apps and images to help yourself out, but also have integrity. Be wise with it, and beyond being wise, don't let your cell phone own you. So put in some safeguards and some things that will help you navigate your cell phone usage on a regular basis. For example, I have all my notifications turned off except for phone calls. I oftentimes turn my screen to black and white mode so that the dopamine doesn't hit my brain at the same level as full color. Like, use some of those things to your advantage so that you can put in the good safeguards and that you can have good digital hygiene and good digital integrity. The second tip that I have for you, this is another AI suggestion, but it is its own kind of entity. If you have been following in the last episode 91 through 99, I had my YouTube for Youth Ministry playlist. I'll link it right here if you're interested, or down in the show notes. And I go on a complete crash course on everything you need to know for YouTube. How to pre-film your messages as a youth pastor, how to post your messages to YouTube using things like title, tag, thumb, and all the other T's that are important on YouTube. And one of my major and favorite features is using Opus.PRO to create AI-generated short-form vertical-based video. Social media and vertical-based video are still king on social media, and so you need to find a way to create those things. And if you have a long-form version of your message, whether you sit down direct to camera like I coach youth pastors to do, or you are a church and you have your pastor's live-streamed message in his entire talk, take that full-length thing and drop it into Opus.PRO. Link down below for you to give it a shot for free, down below in the description or in your podcast catcher or wherever you are listening to this, or just head to our website, hybridministry.xyz/101. And hey, before we move on to tip number 3, if you've gotten value so far out of this video, would you just consider giving us a subscribe, a like? If you're on a podcast, a 5-star rating in your Purple Podcast app will absolutely mean the world to me. Tip number 3 is time block. I alluded to it earlier with my calendaring and to-do list, but I take those things, I create a full list, leave nothing off on my to-do list, and then I realistically time block for myself. And by sitting down the week ahead of time and scripting out exactly what I'm going to do, when I'm going to do it, it reduces the level of anxiety in the moment in that week. I detail that completely in episode 77. So you can go to hybridministry.xyz/077 or hit the link down below for the YouTube video if you are more of a visual person, and you can follow my foolproof time management strategy, which is what's helping me get a lot of things done with a lot less anxiety. Time saving hack number 4, raise up a volunteer and pass things off to them. In our ministry, I have an intern, and we do a weekly social media challenge, and I have passed the baton off to him, and every single Wednesday night he knows it's his responsibility to plan, set the set, film, record, and then dump all of that footage into our Google Drive for storage. And it is a fantastic delegation. We are still getting the social media content that I, as a social media content manager, have asked for and want and have dreamt up, but I have passed off the duty of doing it. And so it will take you more time on the front end to create tutorials and explain, your strategy and your philosophy behind anything that you're doing, whether it be social media or otherwise. But once you've done that, right? Once you've passed some of those things off, you will get more time back. And that is another huge youth pastor time saving hack. And I get it. You might be sitting there listening and thinking like, I don't have the time to do that. I don't have additional staff. I don't have budget dollars. Like, I'm barely keeping my head above water. And I heard this one time: if you do what's easy now, you will make your life harder later. And if you do what is hard now, you will make your life easier later. And so this one in particular really resonates, because if you do the hard thing now, yes, it's going to take more time right now. Yes, you might feel like you're drowning. Step back, create a tutorial, create a PDF walkthrough, create a video and show someone how to do it. But then down the road, it will be easier, because you will then be able to simply pass off things like editing. And hey, by the way, if you are using Adobe Premiere Pro or Photoshop, I have a complete course and playlist in YouTube that you can check out. That is linked down below in the show notes as well. And then my 5th and final idea to make your life easier is consider some coaching. And I don't know if you know this or not, but link down below, I am offering some coaching right now, and I'm offering 3 slots for completely free. They may be taken by the time that this video drops, but it is worth you at least clicking on that link and inquiring and say, hey, I would like to go hybrid and I would like to level up my social media. That is what I am specializing in. I would love to help you get all of that stuff put together. Let me help you. That's a time-saving hack. Yes, it will take some time on the front end, but if you do what's hard now, it will make it easier later. And like, one of the questions that I think is going to be worth wrestling with in the future here for youth pastors and youth ministries is the question of, is Instagram, is that platform dead in youth ministry? That's a coaching question that you and I can discuss. And whether you dive into coaching with me or not, I'm actually going to answer that question in the very next video, which, if you're watching here on YouTube, is linked right here on screen. So just tap that, and I'd love to see you over there in that video. Don't forget, and as always, stay hybrid.